in game. To the top right corner, our blue Zerg is going to be Rogue, taking on the red Terran. In the bottom left corner of the map, we have GuMiho. Alright, so we kickstart this best of 3 off. Excited to see these two actually have in store for us, because I do think GuMiho's been playing a little bit funkier lately. Rogue has been always kind of fun to watch since his return. Can be in the same moment almost kind of amazing and then struggle a whole bunch. So yeah, it becomes an entertaining watch because you're never quite sure what's going to happen. And the kind of same can be said about GuMiho, right? In a world where, you know, he plays his mech sometimes, the battle mech is kind of back too, so that's a possibility. It's an exciting time to be watching GuMiho for a lot of the same reasons, so yeah. Call me excited. I kind of am. Let's see if he's just going to come down. We are going to see just the single barracks. GuMiho's been playing actually a lot of double racks Reaper play, so not going to be going for any of that here right now. Thank you, Vanilla67, for the 1-year resub. Hail to the Caster King, baby. Thanks so much for the 1 year of resubscribing. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. And we'll get you on the tree after this map of StarCraft 2 as well. Here on Leylines, already a fun one as well. I consistently praise this map. I feel like we consistently see fun games on it, so yeah, Leylines is in my good books. Just give me 1 second, guys. Just gonna quickly take my jumper off. It's getting kind of warm in here, so give me a second. I'll be back with you. Is Rogue on average stronger than Dark? I don't think so. I think Dark's been pretty consistent even when he's been kind of slowing down a little bit, whereas Rogue has a lot more inconsistency in his play. I think I would favor Rogue, Dark over Rogue if they played against any specific people. So yeah, I don't think so. Zowling comes moving about. Trying to see a little bit of what's going on, see if we can maybe make something happen for a little bit here. As we settle down, the orbital command and command center all coming through as well. Bring that online. Get that going. See our link speed coming through, so we get settled for a couple of moments. Oh, we're actually going to get chased down by these couple of Marines. They are going to get hunted for a little bit. Let's just have the Fueling's going to move about, the Reaper and the Hellion going to be there. Yeah, so far we just chased that around a little bit, so a little bit of chasing around, pushing some units here, there, and everywhere. And we do have ourselves the game continuing to settle down for a few moments. It's going to be seeing the Hellions getting rid of a couple of creep teamers as well, so just going to grab those as we go. Also a nice little one to get rid of, or to just grab a little bit of right away here. I mean, yeah, Reaper Hellion going to take some map control, and look at GuMiho go with the Fusion Core. He's going to bring us into some Battlecruiser play. So Battlecruiser opening from GuMiho. It's been seen, right, and something you can maybe bring back even in this meta too. It's been a while since BCs have been like a threat in TvZ, so a lot of the Zergs have somewhat, I don't want to say they've forgotten how to deal with it, but it's not on like the forefront of their minds, which makes the build a little bit more dangerous again for sure. So I definitely think that's a an interesting kind of thing to keep in mind. Absolutely. You see how Hellions moving about. Just going to be seeing the Queen's going to be there as well. Just going to see the factory lifting off, and it's going to move away. And the next barracks will come down also. Just for the moment, continue to get this in position. You get this on the go as our stim packs build. So we're going to build stim in 2 more barracks as well, but we're also heading into that battle cruiser. So battle cruiser into bio is going to be our choice. Hellions are going to threaten the run by here. Enough Lings plug the hole in the wall for the moment to hold this off, but we're not done yet. Definitely still danger on the cards as those units can 100% create an opening. The Hellions do get in, and right now these Hellions are going to start barbecuing up some drones. So drones for dinner today. You've seen the BC will teleport in as well. It's going to teleport to the 3rd base. So just trying to take advantage of the Queen's being up in the main, chasing down the Hellions for a little bit. This first Queen goes down already, and Rogue definitely going to be scrambling together for defense right now, to say the least. Definitely going to be scrambling together a bit of a defense at the moment as the BC continues through. Doing pretty well for itself still. This BC has been effective, but doesn't get a ton of drones, which maybe is one of the goals. So if you don't get enough drones, are you still going to be okay here? Is there still something you can play forward from? I think so, yes, but yeah, let's see. I mean, obviously, again, we're fully into bioplay. We actually had it on the 2nd factory already as well, so GuMiho going to go heavy on that factory production. As like I say, factory 2 coming online right away here. No waiting around on that. The upgrade's still coming over from Rogue, so he will get those set up too. One upgrades, combat shield, like I say, full play into the bio now from GuMiho. No hanging back on that bio commitment. He is going to be full sending it, so yeah, full send on the bio. As the armory comes online, readying for him to build T2 as well. No Hellions left to move in a Hellbats or anything along those lines. It really is just an upgrade-based armory. And gives us the chance to get set for the next few moments. Marines and a couple of Widow Mines will begin to move up, so they're going to step forward here right off the bat. Seeing the Wings will move over. Marine's going to stim. Going to go after that orbital. She's going to jump onto the Queens here for a few moments as well, so a little bit more damage to be done right away on that one. Seeing another Widow Mine shot going off. A few Lings dodging away to the side, so just trying to stay out of trouble as best as possible. See the BC back in the main. It's going to take damage off Queens, but it's just hitting the hatchery. Not exactly doing much right there. Is the Ling Bane going to run up after those Marines now? Marines going to have to lift back into the medevacs to try and escape away. And they will do just that for the moment, so escaping out for now. BC is going to finish this hatchery off, so Rogue. It's kind of been a weird game because I feel like Rogue's been scrambling against the BCs, but I feel like he's also been pretty confident against them at the same time. Like, it feels like he hasn't taken loads of damage, but he's also been not super comfortable. Losing a hatchery is obviously pretty rough. So we see now Marines continue to stand and fight. The Queens will be taking quite a beating right there, so quite a lot of damage going down from them, just for the moment. See another Widow Mine shot going off, so a little bit more damage being dealt out of that. A little bit more happening here for a few moments. As we take a second. Going to be seeing the BC still firing away and doing as much as it can, so just being an absolute nuisance here so far. Medevac's going to load back up. Those Lings are going to absolutely swarm this mineral line, so that's going to be some serious damage done as well. Water mines going off here, there, and everywhere. The Lings continue to go through. SCVs are taking so many hits. The Widow Mine's actually doing a lot defensively here for GuMiho as Rogue. Losing bases all across the board. This right side base going down as well. I do not think you stay in this game if you keep losing out on that. Things coming over, plus the armor upgrade is about to finish up as well, so we just get that completed. He's going to be there. The Marines will get cleaned up again, so again some damage being dealt as we just have GuMiho, the remnants of the drop, and it was the remnants because it's been there for so long doing so much. It's not like he was unsuccessful and you know, like I say, it was a quick cleanup on the side of Rogue, and Rogue's supply definitely hurting now. I think the scrambling in this game has really hurt Rogue. The fact it took him so long to clean up the BCs initially, he's then never really been comfortably set up in a lot of the, you know, versus bio fights either. And when he hits some good run bys, it feels like it's just not enough compared to the fact he's just losing base after base on the, you know, on his own side of the map. So really across the board, not looking pretty just yet. I was just going to be seeing our bio force coming over as well. Still here, just trading. But am I putting some work in? I was going to say, GuMiho, don't get too lazy, because there is a world where you kind of, you know, just kind of sit there and need a bunch of connections, and then it actually goes a little bit wrong for you. I don't think that was going to happen necessarily, but like I say, that's why I'm shouting don't be lazy, just in case it did begin to happen. Good to be on top of that, and good to be shutting it down before it takes place. Still coming over. Medevac's going to be there, because the Widow Mine's setting up as well. And Bane's still moving about. Bioforce going to be there. A couple of queens getting shot at as we are going to be having the rest of this army continue to step up. There we go with those Banes coming over. The Ling's coming through as well. Ling Bane going to try and push this army back. Rogue going to just about scramble together a little bit of an advantage in terms of the numbers on that one. So just trying to get there. Not really doing too great of a job of it, if I'm going to be honest. I mean, he is going to take a supply lead. GuMiho's down to only 28 SCVs. I mean, there's a world where Rogue is still okay in this, because his damage to the economy of his opponent has been absolutely huge throughout. That does add up. That does go a long way, right? So the Widow Mine shots here, though, going to go the way of GuMiho to start out with. I mean, now more than ever before, GuMiho has to just go, and just keep using his army momentum. He cannot afford to slow down. If he slows down in this game, he's inviting Rogue right back into it. But he's also on a timer, because you can't survive on this work account forever, so you kind of got to do something. And whether that's, you know, doing some damage while you build back up, or whatever it may be, I don't really care what it is, but it has to be something. Otherwise, this game is going to go in Rogue's favor after GuMiho honestly felt as though he did so much right early on. Like I said, I felt as though Rogue was struggling, but Rogue has been able to do well in his own counterattacks. He's been able to keep the game messy, which, to be fair, I think is one of Rogue's strengths, right? Keeping the game messier than it should be, kind of making your opponent make mistakes, and, you know, forcing run-bys. I mean, Rogue is such a smart player. He knows so well when he has to resort to different things and really, you know, look to those things as a way to see success. Well, he's very good at that kind of stuff, so yeah. Honestly, Rogue is such a fascinating player to watch for that exact reason. So good at understanding, like I say, the phase of the game, what you can get away with in the game, what you cannot. Right now, he is getting away with this game just in general, though, so this one may not actually be even... I mean, are we getting to the point where this is not that exciting anymore? Where this is genuinely just so heavily favored towards... Yeah, well, this is... I think this may just be so heavily favored towards... Rogue that, yeah, I don't want to say that just yet, because then I look at the supplies again and GuMiho catches up a bit. Still only on the 30 SCVs. Mules will be doing a lot of the heavy lifting here to try and help GuMiho along. Ling Bane Queen still setting up, moving around as we speak. The bio unloading from the medevacs. Got to cross over toward the edge here as well. If you see now, Ling's still wrapping around. Bane's are going to jump onto those Widow Mines, so those Widow Mines will fall immediately, so that's going to be some easy pickoffs. Easy cleanups right there as the Fling Bane continues over. Bio continues to run away, trying to get the hell out of there. Trying not to be too involved in this at all. Vipers, Lings, and Banes all still produce on through for the moment, so we bring all of that up. Get all of that going. Just gonna get forwards, and a couple of Queens gonna start getting hit, so some damage being done. Bane's still rolling through. GuMiho will, once again, supply drop back down into the 70s. We know this is a scrappy game, so we know this is going to be back and forth. You know the supply is going to be dropping down at points. Definitely, like I say, continue to be extremely scrappy throughout thus far. Here in our first game of this quarterfinal matchup here in the Olimoleague games from today. Damn. Bane continues over. We just have ourselves the medevac lifting back up. Bioforce coming back through. So Wardy isn't casting live. Nope, I am live. The games were played about 4 hours ago, that's all. We're not allowed to cast Olimoleague live, so we have to take the replays and cast them a bit later on, that's all. As GuMiho is going to just run out of stuff here, and it is going to be GG called. Rogue is going to get the first game, so he gets it after an absolute scramble and an absolute effort. I mean, this was not easily done in the slightest. No. Taking the lead in the series. In the top right is going to be our blue Zerg player. This is Rogue. Start us off. Taking on in the bottom left our red Terran player, GuMiho. Game number 2 of our best of 3. Let's kick this off. We get this going. See where we're going to go. Follow an overload across the map early because there's not too much exciting going on just yet. Take a few moments. Settle down. See what's going to happen. So take a few moments. It's going to be just a single Rax again from GuMiho. Watched him the other day and he was playing so much 2 Rax Reaper that I'm kind of surprised that he's just playing single Rax right now. Just because he was so consistent about playing the double Rax the other day that I was sure this was just something he'd absolutely fallen in love with, and yeah, he was so consistent with it. But it might come down to also just who he's playing against. Sometimes certain styles work better against certain players, and GuMiho might just feel that the double Rax Reaper doesn't really give you a good enough start against someone like Rogue, right? So that's a possibility. Yo, G-Town, thank you so much for the fresh new Prime sub. Appreciate it. We're doing well. Thank you so much for supporting, and we will get you on the tree after this game. Thank you very much. Gonna be seeing a couple of Lings chase that Reaper around. So first it's going to take a little bit of a chase right now. Out a little bit here, settle it in. And overload speed coming up as well, so maybe some potential aggression from Rogue. That is a possibility there. So that is something that we could see coming about. So eyes on that. Like I say, it's a possibility of something that may happen. It's not a guarantee. Yeah, just something for us to keep our eyes on for some of the earlier stages. Stop all coming up, reactor coming through. And our Lings continue to go back toward the upper right hand side, so just retreating away for a few moments as we settle back down here. And the Hellion still moving around. Queen's gonna come across, they're gonna try and do their thing. As we have ourselves the setup just being made. Take a couple moments. Here we go. Stimpag obviously comes online, the medevac is on the way as well, so we do start to get ourselves into position here as GuMiho with the upgrades and so on to get set up. Alien's gonna drop in with the medevac, so GuMiho is trying to find a little bit of a creative way to deal some damage. You don't usually see the Hellion drop in like this, but Rogue's on top of it immediately. Queen's in position, that ain't gonna go anywhere at all. Good to see he's so on top of it actually. That is a very impressively clean defense. Like really nothing came of that in the slightest. Couldn't have made that much cleaner if you tried, to be honest. Medevac have to lift up once again, just going to pull away over to the sides. Just going to pull back for a moment or two. I think it's just going to linger with the medevac. The medevac, I guess, always gives them that threat or that possibility of, hey, look, we could jump in. We could go somewhere funky. We could make a play. And by having that threat, at the very least, you're going to keep, keep Rogue guessing a little bit as to where or what or how you might be attacking if you do attack. In this case, the Ling's just going to jump on that straight away, so, losing the Hellions does not exactly allow you to keep that feint up, though, so don't love that part of this quite as much. The Marines come through, and they're going to go chasing down an Overlord, so looking for some further damage themselves. Queens will be there. Hellions go the other direction. Medevacs and Marines pull back across, still seeing the +1 attack and combat shield coming through as well, so we keep that on the go. Bring that online just a little further. And Roach speed and the Carapace upgrade coming about as well, so we got that all coming up here for now. +1 armor, Carapace, combat shield. And upgrades that are going to help GuMiho out in the long run. So nothing that we're surprised to see. Just really the kind of normal setup stuff coming into play. And let that develop as the Marines move out. Let's start hitting that hatchery. Taking quite a lot of damage. A few drones going down as well, so a few shots continue to come in. Right there, the Roach Ravager is going to dive forward, going to go after those SCVs, so we're going to go chase those down too. Those SCVs obviously just getting chased so far away as the Roach Ravager is going to force in the end. The medevacs to come and pick them up, so Rogue chases for a long distance. Gets to clean up in the end, it seems. Seeing those medevacs still there. The Roach Ravager will not let the third base land, so as long as that third base doesn't get down, we'll continue to be in some trouble. We'll just have the Concussor shells and the +1 armor upgrade continue to come through. To bring that straight up. Found some rocks. I mean, GuMiho would really like to get his third base back online. Without that third base, he really probably does remain in a bit of trouble here, so needs to be very careful for himself. Otherwise, this does get out of hand a little bit. So yeah, got to be a little cautious. Ravager going to reposition for a few moments. Dropping into the main base. Queen and Lings is going to get jumped on for a little bit as well, so a bit of damage there. Medevac's coming over, Marines coming back through just for the moment as we continue to settle back into this. So far, so good. Couple Overseers is going to fire away. Sorry, a couple Vikings going to fire away into the Overseer. The Roach Ravager force still definitely looking for a chance to move forward at the moment, so trying to find a little bit of something somewhere. It's not really happening too much just yet. He's going to be there. It's going to come back over. The Roaches are going to continue about as well. Damage still being done. A couple of Vikings, the bio units all going to come moving across right now. We've seen the rocks getting knocked down. I don't think that's going to have actually any impact on this at all, but prove me wrong. Show me that that's not the case if you would like to. Don't think that's going to happen, but yeah, I will not be too upset if it does. Has no real impact on my life. Well, again, we have actually the Roach Ravager going to start attacking in. Now, GuMiho has been able to build up supply throughout this, so he's been getting a lot better off in terms of dealing with these setups. I'm just going to be seeing a bit of bio coming over now. Just going to try and get into position to deal with this a little further. Ravager going to get chased, so it's just going to push that away. So we've seen a couple of Roaches show up as well, so they're also going to come through. Continue to try and make some plays. Problem for Rogue is obviously this Roach Ravager army does scale down over time, and as he kind of gets dropped and so on, it will also struggle just to deal with harassment in different places. Economy-wise, Rogue's only about 7 workers ahead, so he's not even in an amazing kind of eco spot or anything from all of this. And GuMiho is about he is on his way to 3-3 upgrades, so this position actually starts to get very scary for Rogue, where his army's not just on a timer, its timer might have already expired, you know? Like, we are at a point where I would not be shocked if GuMiho came through and just absolutely smashed this. I mean, we're going to see a fight right now as Rogue tries to force the issue a little bit, but yeah, like I say, would not be surprised if it was a bit too much from GuMiho, and it absolutely is. You can see just how little Rogue's army is able to achieve here in the end. GG's, we tie up 1-1 between GuMiho. Not obviously check the full replay pack out, because I'm avoiding spoilers. So yeah, we know what the round of 8s are. I think this was the best round of 8 available, though, so not upset if we don't end up seeing anything further, to be fair. Rogue in the top left-hand side, unable to make it happen with the Roach Ravager aggression in Game 2, taking on the GuMiho, or as some would say, the Gumi God. Here, Game 3. Well, we've seen battle cruisers. We've seen Roach Ravager pushes. These two definitely haven't held back in terms of the fun and variety of builds thus far, so kind of hoping we continue to see that kind of element in play with this Game 3 now building up. King's Cove is a good macro map, and the reason for that is it's just so easy to hold on to additional bases. You expand forwards, 3 bases all on the high ground, very difficult to attack into. The fourth base goes down just in front of that. So actually, basically, by taking the fourth, you consolidate 2 ramps and defend them both at once by holding the fourth. And a fairly just, again, defendable layout on the low ground as well. It's not a bad position to just hang on to. And I think that is where we're most likely to see some kind of issues arriving if obviously Rogue wants to be aggressive. Sometimes you're like, oh, 4 base time, yes, sure, let's go. But I actually think it's going to be very tough to stop the Terran taking a 4th. And that can oftentimes just mean it's very tough to stop the Terran taking a 5th. Because then the 5th base on this map isn't too bad either. You can take it in a very comfortable spot. So, yeah, I do immediately worry a little bit for our Zerg in terms of, if Rogue wants to end this earlier, I think that's going to be extremely difficult to do. He might not want to end it earlier, though, right? He might be happy to play a longer game as well. I'm not trying to suggest that Rogue has to play quick and aggressive, just I feel like that was obviously the intention last game, and yeah, maybe that was just the map in this series where playing some aggressive Roach Ravager works. Obviously, if your next map's King's Cove, it's less likely to work here, so maybe that wasn't just about how you felt or what he felt he had to do to win games, and more just about, doing the best possible build for the map in this situation, or playing out the series as well. Using that build on the best map it was going to have in this best of 5, considering King's Cove was next. Any questions we can ask ourselves? At the end of the day, we'll just see what Rogue does with this one. Do you think, obviously, big map, Spire and Mutalisks are not off the table as a possibility? Yeah, I think there is, as you obviously expand further out, this map gets a little smaller, so maybe mutas, if it's mutas, it kind of has to be earlier mutas, because like I say, the longer it goes, this map kind of narrows down on itself, and so you just don't really want that to be the case. If you're playing with the Mutalisks, you want them to have space to roam, time to get back and play defense after having time to already have dealt damage before they had to retreat. So yeah, you kind of want the map to be as big as possible at that phase, so maybe mutas into something else. And the Reaper just going to gather up on the low ground for a few moments, so we can set up over there just for a moment or two. A starport will land on the tech lab. So we get that up immediately as well. Just having ourselves the Cloak and the Viking. Pull some production for the moment. Get all of that coming through. Get this underway. The Viking and the Cloak both continue to produce at the moment, so bringing that online. The Viking is going to go after our Overlord, so chase that down a little bit. Push that away. Overlord will go down, so Overlord falls. Again, the lair, the drones, the OV will continue to produce on through for the moment. So we get that set up. Alien's going to come and play a little bit of cleanup as well. So far, so good at this point in time. Viking steps up, just going to move the other way. Can control the map a little bit here for a few moments, get that all settled down. Just be coming up, +1 vehicle weapons, +1 vehicle plane, but everything continues to come through. Take a moment or so. Banshee moving around. He's going to try and get harassing with the mech play on the way. I'm kind of just buckling up for a long game. Not even battle mech, man. Ooh, GuMiho, you could have given us some battle mech, buddy. Battle mech I like, the regular mech, but now I actually am a little bit terrified of the fact that this map might just go on forever, to be honest, so Maybe that'll be an interesting one. Let's see, Overseer getting chased around. Just going to be seeing the Viking going in after that, so able to deal some damage there. Overseer does drop. That gets picked off. Just going to be seeing a couple Thors coming about as we speak. And going to load those up. GuMiho was the OG double Thor drop man. Back in the day, he was the guy that kind of came up with this whole double Thor dropping style. He was a big fan of it. I mean, it was very good. The whole concept is basically, you know, you basically look at the idea of what makes mech bad. Well, usually mech was really bad in TvZ because you didn't do anything for so long, right? You would have an extended period of time in the game where you just didn't do anything. And the Zerg was able to do what they wanted. And so by the time you got going with the mech army, it was already too late. The Zerg had done what they wanted to do. You had no control over it. You couldn't stop it. GG, right? And so by going into the double Thor drop, you actually put some pressure on the map. And by putting some pressure on the map ASAP, the sooner the better, you actually put yourself in a position where actually you're going to be able to put some damage out. You're going to be able to force units. The Zerg can't just sit back and hold down the drone key. So that was kind of the OG kind of thinking of the double Thor drop. People learned to figure it out. People learned. I mean, the thing with Zerg is their methodology is, how many drones can I make against this before I die? And so they figured out how to be just greedy enough so that the double Thor drop wouldn't kill them, but that they'd also still be in a great position. But for a little while, it really revitalized mech a bit, right? Like, it really made mech something you could actually play again after not really being able to play mech for a while. So, yeah. Double Thor drop holds a little special place in my heart in terms of StarCraft 2 history. Simply for that, so... yeah, just a cool build that once had a real big role in the meta, a real big kind of shake-up in the matchups. Just, it's probably kind of forgotten about and probably just doesn't kind of really matter anymore as well, to be fair. As we just set up, you can see this fourth base out the front is going to be super defendable, so GuMiho sets up in that position immediately. That's what I'm saying about King's Cove, man. Like, this is a map which just does not necessarily need to encourage any level of kind of gameplay or interaction between the players for a long time. Like, you can just sit back, neither player really wants to attack. Rogue is going to get up to a Lurgadon. We've lost a handful of units. GuMiho has lost absolutely nothing so far. We're 9 minutes into the game. Going to be seeing a little bit of a push forward as the Hydras and the Vipers come through to try and break the fourth. So finally, after a little bit of setting up, we are going to get ourselves a bit more of a fight breaking through. With the Boundary Fortress here, I mean, again, there's a reason why this is going to be a defensive style from GuMiho. It's going to be so hard to break that position. You can't multitask this with multi-prong or anything, maybe. Maybe the one way I could see multi-prong working is maybe some like drop a load play to kind of drop by, but you're not going to run half your army somewhere to try and drag it away from the rest of these units, right? Like, that just ain't happening, so... yeah, as we continue in, we are going to have ourselves a Roach Hydra force that backs away and what goes to rebuild a little bit, sure, but then, you know, show me what you're going to do next is really my big question. Because if we're just going to throw a Roach Hydra at the front forever, I don't love it. We are tech into lurkers, we are getting the Spire online. I mean, Rogue is just going to say, cool, I see that this stage of the game is likely going to lead us to a longer game. I'm going to get a lot of my different tech structures online, so I'm ready in multiple ways to really handle and deal with whatever you might throw at me. And there really is a huge variety of whatever might be thrown. As the Roach Hydra makes a bit of a step forward already. Getting in toward the mineral line, and a few SCVs will begin to drop off. Hydra's still building up. Medevac's going to drop their Hellbats back on top of a lot of those Hydras as well. So just continue to go over toward those for a little bit. Spire coming through, halfway done from Rogue as well. Well, Roaches really are going to try and see where they can get to. These 3 vehicle weapons and plating. All of the investment into this mech right now is... we just lose 22 SCVs, and yet I'm almost not worried because I think GuMiho is set up defensively enough that he just can handle that. I mean, this is definitely Rogue doing a good job. Harassment, slowing the meching player down as best you can. I just don't think there's a move from Rogue which is going to capitalize necessarily on all of these worker kills anytime soon. Medevacs goes back in toward the main. The Thor going to be there. Getting down a couple of those roaches still, so a little bit more damage still being dealt. Step up, Cyclones. Actually starting to take the field a little bit. Cyclones fun units. So they actually give us some action in the TvZ in this state. They actually are something that can kind of move out and then get back home without just being killed. So they're not a bad unit to kind of mix in. Just try and get something done, of course. Thanks, Cyclones, the Thor as well. Move on up and across. Let's see that Overlord off to the right side, going to be taking a little bit of a beating, so that'll go down over the next few moments. That will indeed drop as well. A little bit extra being done. So the Knight is coming up in the main base, so again, just trying to be a little bit annoying or frustrating if at all possible. Do what we can in that regard. The more of that we do, the better off we'll be. As a couple of those lurkers already popping out. The roaches run into the third base as well. It's just going to run those straight into position. And that's the lurkers in the main. That's going to be difficult for GuMiho to deal with. Like lurkers that get set up like this. I mean, you generally, I don't want to say it's well, it is really bad. A lot of the time, you kind of just lose games off of plays like this. I think GuMiho's going to get enough back home that it's not really going to be end of the world kind of territory, but it's not great. That's not really what you want to be seeing, right? So yeah, not exactly an ideal situation here for GuMiho as he has to pull back and deal with it. His supply takes a major hit. He's now lost 55 SCVs in this game over a couple different attacks. His work account has been whittled down and is now facing some serious issues. Yeah, GuMiho is kind of fighting for his life at the moment. There's absolutely some good play by Rogue to put us this far into it and keep us in a very convincing position. Is going to go. Knight is in the corner, going to get picked off as well. We do have the Cyclones going to lock onto the roaches for a couple of moments as well. So that's going to go about. The roach is still moving over. Hellbat's going to deal some damage also. Hellbats and the Thors gathered together again. Totally not a pylon. Thank you so much for the resub. Coming in with the 38 months on the Prime. Thank you. A couple of Viper Abducts will finally start to come through there to help that scenario, which was not exactly looking great to begin with, to be honest. It was looking a little bit grim as well, wasn't it? Just shots going off non-stop. Finding some Viper Abducts, helping us out a little bit and taking us some steps in the correct directions here. As again, the Thors will sit there. The BC is still coming up. 3 of them being made at a time right now. So again, a lot of those up and rolling for the moment. Lurkers. I'm just going to be sitting there. The BCs going about. Let's get the Banshee up as well, just helping a little bit here and there, right? Little bits of damage that get added on at different moments. Three BCs coming up, and then the Yamato cannon upgrade coming through as well, so we can actually see those BCs coming around. BC's just going to teleport up. Lurkers are going to come around. Just going to be seeing the Overseer is going to fly back. Just going to be seeing the extra corruptors continue to come in as well. And 5 more corruptors continue to come through. Vikings playing a little bit of cleanup as well. Seeing those lurkers continue to come about, so a bit more damage being dealt for a few moments. Just going to be seeing the corruptors really starting to take a fight. The Yamatos will go off from the BCs, but this will start to go down. So it looks as though the BCs have seen better days. So BC's starting to fall. Just going to be seeing the orbital here having to lift off from GuMiho, moving back here on King's Cove. See the Corruptors fighting. Viking going to go down. Thor still flying away. Corruptors continue to come through for a little bit more damage as well. Just going to be seeing the army of GuMiho really starting to press back, man. If you just look at the map though, and Rogue has kind of everything at the moment already. Seeing Lurkers popping out of a Nidus network over here on King's Cove, as we just have things definitely being kind of chaotic. I mean, game absolutely staying pretty hectic throughout right now. The BC is going to fire up. I mean, they'll continue to clean out. Resources lost is very favorable to GuMiho, but that is why Rogue has the entirety of the map. That is kind of how this style of play works. You take the map, you control the map, and you really benefit from having the map. In the end of the day is generally the idea of it, right? So that's kind of where we're at. That's kind of how things are looking. Gonna see the Thors and the tanks continue to come over, so we just get settled down one more time. Again, just units going to come about. Just going to be seeing the bases showing up. Here come the Vipers and the Corruptors coming through, looking for those. See what we can get done for the next few moments. We've seen the Corruptors hitting orbital command, taking shots. BC is going to fire back the other direction as well, so a little bit more being done right there. Just going to be seeing the BC count is staying good here from GuMiho. I mean, we also have 7 battle cruisers in this game right now. It's not every day you see 7 BCs in a StarCraft 2 game, and they're honestly genuinely pulling their weight as well, right? They've been pretty darn decent, I have to say. Really can't complain about the VCs at all. They have indeed been very effective at keeping this game going. The thing about the BCs as well, it's interesting, but BCs actually kind of put, I always like to call it the BC tax on the Zerg, where first of all you have to pay every time a fight happens some Yamato cannons go off, and they will guarantee some kills. But it's also the fact that you have to commit supply into dealing with the BCs. And I always feel like the Zerg has to commit more supply into handling the BCs than the Terran has to commit into BCs in the first place. Now, that may not be as true here because the amount of BCs is extremely high. But a lot of the time when you see like 2 to 3 BC openers and you keep those BCs alive for a bit deeper in the game, it always feels like the amount of corrupts to deal with that effectively is just so much more investment than what the BCs were themselves. Even if it's just current supply on the map, which is a factor because if you can build up a massive army as the Zerg, the mech army is going to struggle to trade efficiently. So I always find that such an interesting dynamic for these BC-focused games at TvZ. Like I say, this one's a little bit different because of the fact that we're here, you know, playing kind of later BC transition more so than a BC startup. So that part of it definitely stays interesting as well. Crypt is actually going to get a bit of a chase going on to these BCs for the moment. Going to go hunting down for a little bit as we do see the BCs just about getting away. Thors and Corruptors coming back over. He's going to be having this army continuing to run around for now. Corruptors come back across. Just going to have ourselves the Ling's going to come running through. Good blinding clouds. I like the Vipers. They've been so effective this game for Rogue, I feel like. I feel like they've been very good at just consistently finding and providing damage. So very happy to have seen that continue through. As the orbital command lifts off and moves away as well, it's just going to pull that out of here. That orbital just about surviving. 3 new BCs coming online. GuMiho is at this stage though where 5 bases are going to be mining out. Like he's just been on 5 bases for such a long time. It's kind of time we see something else, right? We kind of need to be able to say, okay, here we are. We've been on the 5 base. This is now my 6 base setup. But if we can't get to 6 bases and Rogue continues to maintain the map control and base control that he has, he's going to win this game just through pure trading, right? 15,000 resources lost worse for wear does not matter when you have that many more bases than your opponent. And that's oftentimes one of the big question marks in the TvZ. Can you get those extra bases up? Can you stop the Terran getting the extra bases up? Right now, Rogue is saying, yeah, I absolutely can stop the Terran getting those extra bases up. And that's, like I say, a big deal, because that is not a given in this matchup. That is one of the more difficult things to kind of have a hold on. 13 Swarm Hosts on the way, by the way, as 2 more BCs. The Siege Tanks all coming up as well. So you bring all of that into play. GuMiho is remaxing one more time, but like I said, just do not think those remaxes last forever. Should be a point where we kind of really realize that as well. I think there's going to be one stage where GuMiho just does not recover from the fight that happens. I don't think we're too far away from seeing that happen. I really don't. I think we're very close to having that take place here, to be honest, as that turret tries to set up. Just going to be having ourselves the extra BCs still coming through as well. Just bringing a lot of that on the way in right now. You have the Thors, Halberds, battle cruisers. Continue to chase about. Just going to be seeing the army that continue to sit up on the high ground, and obviously with the Swarm Host being added in late, Rogue trying to find a little bit more efficiency to his army. It's interesting because I actually don't think he really needed it. I think he was just outmining anyway, but it does, if the Swarm Hosts can be good enough, then obviously you can kind of be like, well, yeah, they're good enough, then why not, you know, utilize them to some extent. It's kind of been, like I say, a pretty fascinating round of matchups. Locust going to move over as well, so they're just going to come across for a little bit right now. DCs, tanks, all the rest dropping down as well. Well, that's just going to clean up the change points. I mean, GuMiho taking that forward base. This is one of the bases you can get access to more easily. Another one of the reasons why this map goes quite macro-y a lot of the time. Tank's going to get siege, Thors are going to fire, Hellbats are going to be there. Continue to fire back the other direction as GuMiho tries to step onto creep a little bit. A little bit of a danger zone kind of situation breaking out as just see the units continuing to press across. Yamato's going down. We're actually going to go for a mass teleport away. You can see the rest of the Locusts dropping down as well. See those DCs still up in the sky. Spike Roll is pinging away at the moment. As you see now, BC's on a big push up through the middle. GuMiho just going to commit. I wonder if this is because, well, I mean, let's see how it pans out. Let's see if it's going to be enough. He's coming straight up to the top. Lurkers are going to be there, firing away as well. A little bit more damage being done. Just going to see that Parasite Bomb still latching onto that battle cruiser here. Corruptor's going to get the cleanup as well. I mean, GuMiho has never been rich enough to rebuild from an entire army loss, and that's exactly what this is. He felt as though he maybe had his one chance to go, and that was the moment he picked, but it's not going to happen. After 28 minutes of King's Cove, we will come to a close here, and we will round this one out in Rogue's favor. He goes 2-1 and into the semi-finals. Congrats to Rogue for advancing.